Standard greeting, YouTube viewers, and warm welcome back to another episode of Talk About Transformers. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Rise of the Beast Wheeljack mold, aka Wheeljack from the Jungle 3-pack, aka Pablo. Before we get started, I just wanted to say thank you to all you guys. I just hit 100 subscribers, so I'm now in the triple digits, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And now that that's out of the way, we'll start taking a look at Wheeljack. He has a nerdy Steve Urkel inspired looking kind of motif going on here with the big old glasses and the suspenders and whatnot. You got some nice pink on the front, silver on the face, and white and red for that stripe and crest. And then you've got the blue, silver, and red on the chest for your Autobot symbols and lights and whatnot. Coming down, you've got pink here for the top of the hands, not on the side though. Weird look to him with that. You've got nice from the front, weird from the side. It's like MP45 kind of deal. Wish there was some paint on these thighs on this molded detail. The shins are nicely broken up though. You've got white, silver, red, and then white feet. On the side you have TV Pablo, which is why his name is Pablo. And then the arms just have a lot of this gold tan kind of caramel color. That's what we'll call it, caramel color. And if the hands were painted all the way, I think it would break it up a little bit better. And you've got the tire and the shoulder, and you've got your door wings. You can have them back like mine, you can have them up like this, whatever you want to do. But you've got the kind of tan creamy and the caramel painted on that door, which is clear plastic. None of the plastic on this one that's clear seems to be giving me much trouble as far as I'm worried about stressing it. And there you have him from the back, and he looks pretty good from the back. Not really a lot of hollow stuff. This is all filled in. He's got waffling on the inside of his arms. He's got some really cool molded detail up in there for the actual back bits, so that's kind of nice. And then you've just got a little bit of car roof with the paint and the blue transparent plastic. Now, as far as articulation goes, you can move his head. It's 360 degrees, but it is going to run into the back a little bit, so I would just stick to side if it was me personally. He can look up pretty good, can look down, and he has a little bit of side to side, not much. Shoulders, you've got a ball joint right in there, so you can go out 90 degrees. You can rotate a full 360. You can rotate at the bicep just above the elbow, a full 360, and then you do have 90 degrees of bend at his elbow, nothing at his wrist. Coming down to the waist, we do have a full 360 degree waist joint. We do have thighs that go out that far, so not the best. We do have thighs that go forward and back all the way, so he can do the full split action. You do have a thigh swivel. It is you've got the inner thigh piece and then the outer piece, and it swivels on that, but the outer thigh piece runs into this door, so it doesn't go that far before you did I just call this tire a door? It runs into that tire. I know what it is. It's a tire. I don't know. It's a tire, and it runs into it. Then he's got his legs basically bend to 90 degrees, but because of the angle of this part, it makes it look like it's less, but it's pretty much 90 if you actually look at the leg itself. And I dropped him. And then as far as the feet go, it is on a ball joint, so you do get a nice rotation here. You can move it down all the way, do the transformation, you can tilt it up, and then you've also got a hinge up in there, so you can put that into your movement if you want. And then because of the ball joint, you do get a little bit of tilt, not the biggest range, but there's a swivel at the ankle, so that's pretty good. Alrighty, posability out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at his articulation is posability. What are you doing? Let's go ahead and take a look at his weaponry, because what is weaponry good for if you don't have good articulation? There is his gun. Got some molded details on there. Mine looks like it has a little bit of flash around it. not enough for me to really want to try and, you know, slice it off. And you've got some kind of bumps back down on this section molded in. Almost looks like someone bit it. But the other side is pretty much the same. You can see the mold number down in there. This came out of cavity number 2, if you're interested in that. And yeah, it looks pretty good. As a gun, or whatever you want it to be, he can hold it in his hand, and so he can do action with his weapon, or you can store it on his back. Now, the way this sits, this little section, magazine section here, sits perfectly on the curvature of the roof to sit like that. Oh, get out of the way, door. So it sits very nicely like that. If you rotate it to the side and get it down here, it will not hold in as well because this point is bumping into the roof. So I do recommend just having it straight up. It's going to sit in there the farthest and most secure that way. And there's your robot mode weapon storage. So now that we have his weapon stored, let's go ahead and get into a few size comparisons. So we'll go ahead and put him all the way back here. He's up. First off, for comparisons, we'll go ahead and put him with Digivolving Spirits Alphamon. For that size comparison, here he is with a Diceling. For that size comparison, I did see Dungeons and Dragons, by the way. Really fun movie. Encourage you to see it if you haven't. There he is with Voyager Optimus Prime from Earthrise for a comparison. There he is. Last but not least, we'll go ahead and put him with the other members of his 3-pack. There he is with Nightbird and Cheetor, and they are all roughly the same height, pretty similar in height, but Wheeljack's alt mode gets pretty small, and so does Nightbird, so it's kind of like really interesting to see how much they shrink up into their alt modes. Like Wheeljack's kind of beefy looking, but his vehicle mode is just a nice little van. So, and we'll go ahead and check that out right after a little bit of a transformation sequence. Alrighty, and there we have Wheeljack in his little van mode. Quick note, if the audio sounds different between this section and the first section, when I was filming well, I guess you should say when the camera was rolling in the background while I was transforming everything, I looked over and I noticed that the light on my mic was not flashing, so it might not have been plugged in right during that first section. I apologize. Without further ado though, here we have Wheeljack, aka Pablo, in his little TV van mode. You've got that caramel color on the bottom with the nice creamy white on the top. This could have been painted the same color as the door. That probably would have been nice. Now there's just a random chunk, but that's okay. You got TV Pablo, and that is not my paint rubbing doage. That is painted that way on purpose. That right there is probably my paint rubbing doage. Coming around, you've got this section here that is coming through a little bit. That down right in there, could have put a little square of paint on that, and just on this edge would have showed up in robot mode, but would have definitely cleaned that up a little bit. There you've got the front of the vehicle. It looks very nice. You've got the wiper paint and all of that going on. This side, the same thing with the faux rough edge pattern and the real paint rubbage right there, so you can see the difference. There you've got him from the top, and there you have him from the bottom. He has got visible head syndrome, visible arm syndrome. These kind of cover the hands up a little bit though. You've got visible crotch syndrome, and there we have him from the back. You've got the kneecaps back here being whatever you want them to be on your van, and the bumper and taillights picked out in paint, so that's pretty nice. Normally for Wheeljack, I actually have his weapon stored up in him. If you want to see how that's done, I did do a little quick tip video on that. It's like 2 minutes long, so just fast forward to the part where I'm showing how it's done and you can see that. But per the instructions, they're supposed to plug in either where you did in robot mode, or it actually wants you to put it in facing the back. It is tilted, as you can see. I thought it was a problem with mine, but it looks like it's molded at an angle. This section here, I don't know how well that's showing up on camera, but you've got this straight edge here. It's definitely molded at an angle, so this goes in at an angle, and I don't know what it's supposed to be. It looks like if you put it on this way, it could be the top of like a jet boat engine, you know, motorboat. Don't know, don't care. I have it up inside, so that's that. He does do rolling pretty good. The front wheels are pinned, the back wheels are not, but he rolls pretty nicely on my crappy cloth surface. And that's pretty much it. So we'll go ahead and do some size comparisons. There he is with the Digivolving Spirits Alphamon. Hooray for that comparison. There he is with Earthrise Optimus Prime, the leader slash Voyager. There he is with the Diceling figure, so you can see what that looks like. And last but not least, we'll go ahead and put him in the middle, and we'll bring in his 3-pack buddies. You've got Cheetor and Nightbird here, and so yeah, they were all pretty much the same size as robots, but you can see, let's go ahead and tilt this back down, how much smaller Nightbird got as a vehicle, and then Cheetor kind of, you know, expands out, and then he's kind of just compact there in the middle. So yeah, I mean, the robot modes are about the same height as your Studio Series Deluxes. They're all about the same height as Studio Series 93 Hot Rod or so. Nightbird's a little shorter, but yeah, they've got very small vehicles. Actually, I have Hot Rod on hand. Real quick, I know this should be a Nightbird's review, but I'm just going to show this off now. They're about the same size in robot mode, and that is the vehicle mode difference, and it's just because of how well she compacts in there. Look at all that stuff in there, and then he's got some hollow spaces. So, but this is Wheeljack's review, so we'll go ahead and get back to Wheeljack. That's it for our size comparisons, so we'll go ahead and get into some final thoughts. Alrighty, final thoughts on Wheeljack. Starting with the negatives, I think there are a couple of areas that I would have liked to see a little bit more paint. It would have been nice if they had been able to make those 2 joints in the ankles give him a bit more of a rocker. And I think that's about it for my major negatives with this guy. A lot of people don't like this look for Wheeljack, but I grew up with Beast Wars and the Unicron trilogy and things like that, so I'm used to characters looking different. I mean, Cheetor and Optimus and Megatron changed 2 different times between the beginning of Beast Wars and the end of Beast Wars, so it's not something that is going to bother me too much. I did love the way he looked in the Bumblebee movie, but this isn't bad to me personally. I am okay with it. It's a little on the nose, but I'm okay with it. I'm not sure how I'll feel about his character in the movie, but as far as the design goes, I think it's fine. As far as the positives, I think the transformation is pretty fun. I think that the engineering is pretty clever. I think it's really cool how they kept the robot modes pretty much consistent sized with Studio Series stuff, but the engineering let it really compact down. Like they get pretty small in their vehicle modes. Kind of gives you that mass shifting vibe. I'm really a fan of that. I do like how they made the real front of the vehicle the front of the robot, and the thing they do to get the suspenders in place is pretty neat, although it's kind of annoying. If you watch the Do the Thing, you'll see me complain about that probably. I don't know, I haven't filmed it yet. And yeah, I think the posability is good, except the ankle tilt is kind of weak, and the thighs, another little nitpick I forgot about the thighs, the swivel is not the best. But I think he cleans up great, and the paint that is on there is really good. And yeah, if you get the 3-pack, these are basically deluxes, so they're like 25 bucks American. So for all 3 of them, it would be 75 bucks, and the 3-pack is 55. So if you can, I found mine at Target in person. So that's like $20 of savings for the 3 of them. And I think they're all pretty great, so it's definitely a pickup for me. I'm kind of excited to get the other one and see what those are like. What is the next one going to be? Air Razor and Mirage and Bumblebee. If it's the Bumblebee that Prime vs. Prime just reviewed and the feet hanging out the back of the car, that's not going to be fun. But they're still, these 3 are. So yeah, that's about it. And I hope you guys go ahead and check out the other 2 reviews and tell me what you think. Do you hate what they've done with Wheeljack? Are you okay with it like me, or do you actually really love this version? Are you connecting with him? Is he speaking to you? Let me know in the comments below. Go ahead and like the video if you found it useful, and go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more. You can help me bump up to 4-digit numbers. That's going to take forever. See you guys next time.